So we are officially starting Unit 1, Quantities and Relationships. 1.1, we are understanding quantities and their relationships. So I have two definitions for you all. The first definition is dependent quantity. What does dependent mean? It depends on something. It's reliant on something. So a dependent quantity is when one quantity depends on the other in a problem situation. So it depends on something else. The independent quantity is the quantity that the dependent quantity depends on. So it's the one that the dependent quantity relies on or changes because of that one. All right, so example 1, we are going to circle the independent quantity. Let's pick a color. How about purple? So we're going to circle the independent quantity, and they want us to underline the dependent quantity in each statement. And I have 5 statements here for you. Okay, so what I want you to do is write down each statement, and then we will do them together. So our very first one, the number of hours worked and the amount of money earned. Which one of the two quantities here, either the number of hours worked and the amount of money earned, is independent, meaning it does not rely on the other? Can you take a guess? Yeah. The amount of money earned is independent? So our hypothesis right now is that the amount of money earned is independent. Let's think about it. If I make $10 an hour and I only work 1 hour, how much money did I make? $10. If I work 2 hours, how much money did I make? $20. If I work 3 hours, how much money did I make? So is the amount of money that I'm earning changing depending on how many hours I work? Yes. So the amount of money earned is not independent, it is the dependent. So underline the amount of money earned. That is the dependent quantity here. So what would that be the independent then? Which one doesn't change depending on the other one? The number of hours worked. So not saying that the number of hours worked does not change, but how much money you earn depends on how many hours you work. Okay? So let's look at the next one. Your grade on a test and the number of hours you studied. If you study more, in theory, would your grade be better? Yes. So which one of these two quantities would be independent? The grade or the how many hours you studied? Hours. The hours that you studied. So the hours you studied is independent. You determine that. So then the more you study, the higher your grade is. So your grade on the test would be the dependent quantity here. So let's look at number 3. The number of people working on a particular job and the time it takes to complete the job. Which one here forces the other one to change? Which one is independent? Yeah, the number of people working on a job. However many people are working on the job, that determines how fast the job is going to get done. So what would your dependent quantity be? The time it takes to complete. Yep. Okay. So what I want you guys to do is the last two, try them on your own. I'm going to give you like 30 seconds. Okay, so you guys can help me out here. The number of games played and the number of points scored. Which one is independent? Does not depend on the other. How many games you played or how many points you scored, Anthony? How many games you played? Yes, how many games you played. So the number of games played, that's the circled one. So then what would the dependent quantity be? Everybody.
Number of points.
Good, the number of points. So then the last one, let's all do this one together. The speed of a car and how far down the driver pushes the gas pedal. Which one is independent? Everybody. How far the driver pushes the gas pedal. So let's just say, I'm going to try to get it in. So then, everybody, what would the dependent quantity be? The speed of the car. Okay? So dependent means that it is reliant on the other one. So based on how the circled quantity changes, that changes the underlined quantity. Good. So really quick, in your notes, you don't have to write the problem. I just want you to put it in your own words. How can you determine which quantity is the independent quantity and which quantity is the dependent quantity? I'm going to give you 2 minutes. I want you writing as much as you can, putting it in your own words in your notes. So answer this question. How can you determine which quantity is the independent quantity and which quantity is the dependent quantity? 2 minutes, put it in your own words. How would you tell me how to figure out which one is which?